Mike, I'm going to be honest with you. I love you, Mike.
Same.
And I'm very nervous for you.
Thank you for caring.
I do care. I care about you. And I care about my brother. And I know the path he's on right now. And it's ruthless, Mike.
I agree. It's pretty cool.
Logan Paul has openly warned Mike Tyson that Jake Paul will knock him out in their upcoming fight. Mike Tyson recently joined social media sensation Logan Paul on his podcast in anticipation of Tyson's upcoming match against Logan's brother Jake. During the episode of Impulsive, the two discussed the forthcoming fight, with Logan expressing deep apprehensions about Iron Mike stepping into the ring with his sibling. Logan articulated his desire for his podcast guest to feel at ease, while also recognizing his brother Jake as a formidable rival. To underscore his point, Logan elaborated on the qualities he believes give his brother an edge against the 58-year-old. Logan told Tyson that his brother Jake had a determined and intense personality, describing him as a real killer. He shared that before Jake started boxing, he had aspirations of becoming a Navy SEAL while in high school, with the desire to serve his country and engage in combat.
It's cool. It's so cool to watch, and he's really crushing it. And I just feel like I want you to be okay in there, Mike. And I want you got to take him serious, Mike, because
I take him extremely serious. I take him extremely serious. These people don't take him serious.
No, they don't, and it's such a mistake because he's a real killer, Mike. Like, he wanted to be a Navy SEAL before he started boxing. Like in high school, he wanted to be a Navy SEAL. He wanted to go kill people on behalf of his country.
Logan warned Tyson, but he didn't seem very alarmed by the influencer's remarks. Mike Tyson revealed that he was fearful of his 13-year-old son, a realization he had come to after 58 years of life experience. He explained that based on what he had witnessed throughout his life, he had learned that anyone is capable of killing, and this made him cautious of everyone. Tyson shared that this perspective stemmed from the life he had lived and the things he had seen, which shaped his understanding of human nature.
I'm fearful of my 13-year-old son. And this is what I learned through my 58 years of experience. What my experience is that anyone's capable of killing you. In my life and the way I lived my life and what I've seen, anyone's capable of killing you. So you should be apprehensive for anyone. That's just my life, the life that I live. Everyone around me, anybody I know is capable of killing you.
In addition, Mike Malak, the Repulsive co-host, said that the problem child would lose in this fight. He explained, "It's almost like a weird duality for Jake. If he loses, it's problematic. But if he beats Uncle Mike hard and beats him up, that's a problem too." This was then followed by a question from Logan to Tyson. "Have you given Jake the permission to do some real damage?" Tyson mostly sidestepped the subject, suggesting that on November 15th, when they square off, neither fighter will pull punches. He said, "This is what's going to happen. Two men are going to fight. Somebody is going to win. They might fight again, then life goes on." Jake Paul also warned Mike Tyson about their November bout on Twitter following their pre-fight press conference. The tweet from Paul read, "This is going to be a painful lesson for Mike Tyson. He likes to say he gave me my start in boxing. Well, I'm going to give him his end." Before co-host Mike Malak questioned the boxing great about his use of mushrooms, Tyson and Logan had a lengthy conversation about their use of marijuana. The 58-year-old then startled the two men by absent-mindedly pulling a bag of mushrooms out of his pocket. "No way," exclaimed Malak and Paul, while Tyson withdrew the tablets from his back pocket. And when the 58-year-old revealed that he is still taking psychedelics before his Texas brawl with Jake, it stunned the audience. He said, "I have to take them when I train. I always train on my mushrooms. I train on mushrooms. I feel so beautiful, it takes me to heaven, baby." Beloved by fans, Tyson revealed that he was under the influence of mushrooms during his legendary showdown with Roy Jones Jr. in November 2020. He's adamant that he'll be experiencing the same psychedelic effects when he steps into the ring to teach problem child Paul a lesson in their upcoming clash in Dallas. He said, "If I'm not on mushrooms, I'll be on residue of mushrooms. I won't be on mushrooms, I'll be on residue of mushrooms." Tyson steps back into the ring with deep worries about his health, largely fueled by the staggering 31-year age gap separating him from the formidable puncher, Paul. The youngest heavyweight champion in history claims that his upcoming bout with the social media sensation isn't motivated by financial gain. Rather, he's looking to extinguish the competitive spark that continues to blaze within him. He recently told Esquire, "I'm a glory junkie. I love people thinking about me all day. I'd rather live a short life of glory than a long life of obscurity. It's just who I am. This is all I started fighting for. To get all this status. I'm going to be chasing it for the rest of my life. I know that. I'm never going to get what I want because I'm one of those gluttons for pain. I can never get enough." Meanwhile, Jake Paul has shared a striking video showcasing himself knocking down a sparring partner, building excitement for his much-anticipated showdown with Mike Tyson. The video features Paul making his debut as a heavyweight after transitioning from cruiserweight as he lands a devastating right hand that sends his significantly larger opponent crashing to the canvas. As he gears up for this highly anticipated showdown, the YouTuber-turned-boxer is honing his strategy to outmaneuver the 58-year-old Tyson, whose ferocious knockout power remains as dangerous as ever. But Paul is sure he can defeat Iron Mike. After dropping his sparring partner, he was heard threatening the former champion with the words, "Don't charge at me, Tyson." Many were expecting that before Tyson's fight next month, the Texas licensing regulators would keep a tight eye on him. But as World Boxing News reports, Tyson won't be evaluated by the Texas licensing regulators until the day of the fight. Thus, there's a good chance the fight will be called off just a day before Iron Mike is scheduled to return to the ring. The evaluation could result in the fight being canceled or demoted from a professional bout to an exhibition. Despite the age difference, Tyson is certain the fight will happen as scheduled and says he is prepared to destroy Paul. Tyson cemented his legacy as one of boxing's most terrifying powerhouses, delivering 24 knockouts in the first round alone during a professional career that stretched from 1985 to his first retirement in 2005. Paul wasn't even born when Tyson first blazed through his legendary world title reign, and by the time Iron Mike stepped away from the ring after his 2005 loss to Irish journeyman Kevin McBride, Paul was only 8 years old. According to Jake Paul, Mike Tyson's unwillingness to participate in interviews suggests the legendary boxer is set to face off against him next month. The 58-year-old legend had to halt his training temporarily, but is now back in the gym and assures fans he'll be ready to step into the ring in just a few weeks. A significant portion of the boxing world has heavily criticized the decision to proceed with the match, primarily due to the 31-year age difference between the fighters. Concerns have also been raised about Tyson's well-being, especially after he disclosed that he had difficulty walking following a recent sparring session. With only weeks left before the two fighters face off in the ring, Paul has been busy on social media, while Tyson has been unusually low-key. Iron Mike has made a few comments to the media leading up to the match, but has largely stayed out of the public eye. While some see this as a reason for concern, his opponent isn't overanalyzing the silence. In a recent Sports Illustrated interview, the 27-year-old shared his belief that Tyson is simply locking in on the fight ahead. He said, "He's declining to do interviews. He just wants to train and be a savage." The young boxer has faced widespread criticism for stepping into the ring with the ex-heavyweight world champion. However, the social media star has his own reasons for pushing forward with the high-stakes clash. When asked at a recent press conference why he's fighting Tyson, Paul replied, "Making history. This is what it's all about for me, man. I'm a kid from Ohio. They'll never give me credit. That's the way it is. If I was walking on water, they would say it's because I couldn't swim. And this is to make history. The people think I'm going to get knocked out by this strong, powerful guy." He added, "All the people in my comments say, look at his power. He's going to get KO'd. This has taken a chance to fight somebody as vicious as Mike can be. You gotta risk it for the biscuit. That's the name of the game." Meanwhile, Jake Paul has received a threat from former world cruiserweight champion Tony Bellew that he will be eaten alive if they fight. Jake Paul maintains his confidence, saying, "It's Mike Tyson or nothing," and highlighting the fact that Tyson is not only healthy but also thriving in his training camp. Despite concerns that Tyson's health would force another cancellation, Bellew isn't as confident about Paul's boxing ability, however, saying to Safest Casino sites, "Listen, everyone's got a price, but he would never fight me. I would eat him alive. Just face a real boxer. I'll tell you what, just come over to England, get a license and try and win an English title. If you can win an English title or the British title, I'll take my hat off to you. Or go do it in the USA. Do where you're from. Win the US cruiserweight title." As soon as he steps in with anyone who has any kind of reasonable boxing experience, he's had it. He's getting taken to school. Bellew has always been candid about his views on Paul, particularly taking issue with Paul's choice to step into the ring with Tyson. He has implied that, although he doesn't actively seek a showdown with Paul, he wouldn't shy away from one if the conditions were appealing enough. In a discussion last September, Bellew confessed, "I've got no real hunger or desire to face Jake Paul if I'm being totally honest. Do I want to? No, not really. But would I? Yes, everyone's got a price. I would, yeah, absolutely, but do I want to? Not really, no. Within the boxing world, there are concerns that Tyson's physique may not withstand the intense punishment and physical demands it once could. While many admire his relentless spirit, they also warn that the potential dangers may surpass any benefits. Influential voices in the sport, ranging from fellow fighters to seasoned trainers, have shared varying opinions, with some lauding Tyson's dedication and others questioning the wisdom of his return to the ring. In the weeks leading up to the fight, Tyson's team plans to reassess his training regimen, focusing on finding the right balance between rigorous workouts and adequate recovery to prevent any setbacks. Fans are eager to see how Tyson's fitness levels evolve and if he can uphold his renowned strength and endurance when the action begins.
30 seconds.
Meanwhile, the Texas Department of Regulation and Licensing, which governs combat sports within the state, follows a different protocol. This is particularly evident in the forthcoming match on November 15th between Tyson and Paul, scheduled to span 8 rounds. At the request of Bryce Holden, the fight's promoter, the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation has authorized the use of 14-ounce gloves and 2-minute rounds for this highly anticipated event. Telemange, the communications manager for the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation, states that using 14-ounce gloves in a sanctioned professional boxing match will be a first for the state. She also points out that 2-minute rounds for male boxers are rare in Texas. We've had a couple of men's bouts that were professional debuts that were 2-minute rounds, but it's been a while and I haven't been able to figure out who those were, Monge said. When asked why the TDLR made exceptions for the Tyson-Paul fight, Monge responded, "If two contestants request terms that do not represent a safety issue and are not in violation of statute and/or rules, then we can agree to regulate the event and ensure those terms are enforced. Having heavier gloves and shorter rounds does not make the event more dangerous for either competitor." Tyson believed that implementing 2-minute rounds would encourage more dynamic exchanges. While this observation holds some truth, it also seems incomplete. By reducing each round by a minute, Tyson can conserve energy, allowing him to channel more strength into his strikes against Paul. On the other hand, these shorter rounds might also work to Paul's advantage, easing his worries about fatigue during the match. Paul reached out to Tyson, proposing a non-title fight that would consist of 10 rounds, each lasting 3 minutes. However, Tyson graciously declined the invitation. It's believed that Paul might have the upper hand due to the heavier gloves, as their extra padding could help cushion the impact of Tyson's powerful punches. Although it's unclear if Tyson still has the necessary speed and agility to secure a win, training clips indicate that he still packs a considerable punch. Interestingly, Tyson could also reap the benefits of using 14-ounce gloves. Meanwhile, Paul has showcased impressive strength, notching up 7 knockouts in just 11 fights. According to the regulations, the ring must measure no less than 16 by 16 feet, but it cannot exceed 24 by 24 feet. The promoter is free to select any size within this specified range. Tyson likely prefers a smaller ring to reduce the extent of chasing, as he has expressed his expectation of needing to pursue Paul during the match. George Foreman, the retired heavyweight world champion, on 14-ounce gloves. "For a genuine puncher, there is hardly any difference. When I was sparring back in the day, many guys were hurt and holding on when I hit them. A 14-ounce glove can't mask power." Nico Ali Walsh, pro boxer and grandson of Muhammad Ali, on the 14-ounce gloves. "It will take the sting off a little bit, and I believe the glove size is there just as a precaution since Mike is older than people that are fighting professionally. He shouldn't be fighting in professionally sized gloves." According to Ali Walsh, he also views the 2-minute rounds as a precaution. He said, "The combination of the 2-minute rounds and the 14-ounce gloves made this fight possible. I don't think any sanctioning body would allow the fight to happen with Mike if they were 10-ounce gloves and 3-minute rounds. The 2-minute rounds will just kind of speed the action up. Amateur boxers fight 2-minute rounds, and if you watch amateur boxing, there's no lapses in action." Mike Tyson and Jake Paul are standing firm on the rules of their eagerly awaited showdown, ignoring public calls for adjustments. Despite numerous requests for a 10-round fight consisting of 3-minute rounds, an idea Paul previously suggested to Tyson, the match parameters remain unchanged. The Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation has granted official approval for the event. Both fighters will don 14-ounce gloves, which are heavier than the usual boxing gloves. Ahead of the clash, Tyson issued a stark warning to his opponent: "Be in shape. Be in good shape because your health depends on it." To which Paul retorted, "You're the one who wanted right 2-minute rounds. Want to make it 10x3? Don't talk to me about shape. You want 10x3. Tyson initially held back from responding, But Paul went on. That's the thing. Everyone's all talk. I'll do whenever, wherever, it's all talk. I'm stating facts, he's talking. Tyson eventually did reply, cautioning, be careful. He should be very careful. Paul boldly warned Tyson with confidence, remarking, people are always going to have something to say. It's because I've proved everyone wrong. I'm here to make history. I'm here for a challenge, and I'm here to fight one of the most dangerous men in boxing. He added, he's vicious. He's a killer. He has one-punch KO power. He is the greatest heavyweight of all time, but I will prove all of the haters wrong. That's what I've always done. I'm not scared of it. I was born for this moment. The universe told me this was going to happen. I'm going to put on the performance of a lifetime. Jake Paul has revealed the target weight he intends to hit for his much-anticipated clash with Mike Tyson next month. When they face off on the scales, he will be giving up a significant weight advantage to the experienced fighter. In a recent conversation with The Hollywood Reporter, the problem child candidly discussed his expected weight for the bout and shared his predictions for Tyson's weight as the event approaches. Though Tyson hasn't fought professionally since 2005, his reputation as one of boxing's most ferocious knockout artists remains unchallenged. Although Paul has ramped up his activity in recent years, the New York-born powerhouse, now 59, still wields enough raw strength to potentially knock Paul down if he connects with a solid hit. It's rather astonishing how comfortable Paul seems with the idea of being outclassed by Tyson in terms of weight. In a recent interview, he mentioned that he anticipates Tyson will tip the scales at least 15 pounds heavier than himself. Paul has been training diligently for what he considers the biggest fight of his career. Unfortunately, his highly anticipated bout in July was cancelled when Tyson had to withdraw due to issues stemming from stomach ulcers. The discussions surrounding Paul's weight have ignited a series of lively debates as the fight approaches. Tyson has taken jabs at his opponent's noticeable increase in size and apparent softness. As the social media star gears up for the showdown, he's set to step on the scales at a personal best. However, he's determined to use his agility to dance around Tyson in the ring. Asked about his strategy for the bout, Paul explained, to just box on the outside and then use my footwork to be more agile and get him chasing me and then attack him when he's out of position. That should frustrate him. After an extensive build-up throughout 2024, one of the most controversial boxing matches in recent memory is fast approaching. This highly anticipated event, which will stream on Netflix, is expected to not only highlight exceptional technical skill, but also to become one of the most viewed boxing events in history. A month ahead of the highly anticipated matchup between Mike Tyson and Jake Paul, a noticeable divide has emerged between public betting patterns and the insights of top odds makers. Despite this inconsistency, leading sportsbooks like DraftKings, Caesars, and the Westgate Superbook report that Tyson has attracted more wagers than Paul. Specifically, Tyson's bets represent 67% of the total wagers at DraftKings, 66% at the Westgate Superbook, and a significant majority at Caesars. The amount of money wagered has not been disclosed by the bookies. I think when you get guys who are super popular, they're always going to generate the most wagers, Brandon Yeager, lead sports combat oddsmaker at Caesars, told USA Today Sports. He added, and then coming from a Jake Paul standpoint, it's like the guy everybody loves to see lose. So I think you're just putting your money there hoping to see him lose and cash out. Veteran sports bettor Teddy Savransky predicts that the betting patterns will change given the standard procedures at various sports books. He said, lines aren't set to beat the casual bettor. They're set to beat the wise guys. The wise guys are the only ones who are going to actually hurt the books. So when you're talking about is that public Tyson support going to carry over to the bigger bets that get made before the fight starts is in, I wouldn't count on it. In a press conference leading up to the fight, Tyson conveyed a sense of assurance, implying that if Paul doesn't back down and instead stands firm, he could potentially deliver an early knockout. In the press conference, Tyson stated, if I don't have to catch him, you can expect a knockout in the first round, adding, but I might have to catch him because I anticipate that this guy will run from me. Tyson also took time to announce his collaboration with Let's Go. Tyson confessed, when I was fighting professionally, I was too stressed. I never had the chance to relax or enjoy my championships because everything was coming at me. There were lawsuits and divorces. I never enjoyed myself as a human being. This is a moment when I can enjoy myself as a human being. Now I have better life skills than when I was fighting. BJ Flores revealed in a conversation with Fred Talks Fighting that he has maintained contact with Paul and keeps getting information on the status of his training camp. He said, I just talked to Jake today. We were talking about some different sparring partners he's got in camp, can't say any names, and what he's working on. I'm going to be getting some tickets to that fight. He's excited about Mike. He's ready to go. He realizes how big of an event it is, and he's excited to do the best he can. The ex-world title challenger believes his fighter has what it takes to triumph against the 58-year-old Tyson, provided he adheres to his strategy and controls the pace of the match. He said, have you ever heard the term don't poke the bear? Don't make him too angry. If Jake stays outside and boxes, taunts, and feints, and uses his legs a little bit to get Mike tired, I think he's going to beat him for sure. Mike Tyson's coach, on the other hand, has encouraged the older guy to finish the job quickly. Ahead of their anticipated boxing showdown next month, UFC icon Chael Sonnen has encouraged Mike Tyson to accept Jake Paul's daring $5 million betting challenge. Known as the Problem Child, Paul has placed a striking wager on the table for the boxing legend, requiring that the 58-year-old survive past the 4th round. In a TikTok video shared on his gambling platform, Better, Paul is seen relaxing shirtless on a couch, playfully piling cash on his mock belly. On his YouTube channel, the 47-year-old shared, Jake Paul has offered Mike Tyson a bet. The bet goes like this: Mike, I will give you $5 million if you make it to the 5th round, so you've got to survive 4, just so you guys understand. But if you don't, you have to get a I love Jake Paul tattoo. Oh my gosh, what do you make of that, guys? That made my stomach uncomfortable. By the way, I love it and I hate it so much that it made my stomach uncomfortable. Sonnen further added, I mean, how's that for an answer, right? How's that for a non-response by me? But it's true. There's a part of it that looks at it and goes, Mike, you can't turn that down. We need to know, Mike, that you believe in Mike. We need to know that you're out there to beat this man, to damage this man, to stop this man, like old, ferocious Mike Tyson would do. We've got to know that it's not a cash grab. Make sure to check out some of our other videos on the screen if you enjoyed this one.